Over my years of being a wedding photographer, I've done a bunch of travel for weddings. And over that time, I've come up with a way of packing my bags that works best for me. So let's actually talk about how I'm packing my bags and how you can look at what I'm doing to maybe benefit your own packing for out-of-state weddings. So recently I've been talking a lot about my trip to Japan where I used a single bag for 30 days. And honestly, it was life-changing. And I know a lot of people are probably like, how are you able to do that and how did you pack your stuff? So let's actually talk about how I generally will pack for either trips for sightseeing and also wedding photography. The luggage options I'm using for both kind of coincide with each other. So let's look at both ways of packing and how I'm doing that with my camera gear so that I can maximize the minimal amount of bags I can use. So to start out, let's talk about how I travel with my camera gear. One non-negotiable for me, especially for weddings, is my camera gear is staying on me. I don't know about y'all, but I am not taking the risk of checking my actual camera bag. Now, I do check in some other stuff sometimes, which is still kind of risky, but first and foremost, my camera and all my camera gear is actually coming with me. So generally for that, I'm using the Romographer by Holdfast. Unfortunately, I do not know if they make this anymore. I think you can still find them on B&H or maybe some used ones, but I got this bag early in my career. So like when I started as a wedding photographer, and it's nice big leather bag. You've seen it's worn in really well. And again, I've had this now for like, I don't know, 8, 9 years, pushing 10 years, something like that. So it always has worked out really well for me. On the inside, you have basically a photographer pack. I don't know what you call this stuff, but it has like the little separators that you would have in a normal photography bag. And what's nice is this whole thing is removable. So if for some reason I wanted to turn this into just like a leather weekend bag, I could do that. But generally when I'm packing it, so I have these different sections here and it's really easy to pack. And this is why I love using it. So if I'm doing like an X-T5 setup, right? I have my two X-T5s, which I'll slide in here. And they just kind of sit next to each other. And the thing that's really nice is I still have space. So again, since I'm a content creator, a lot of times I like to bring a camera with me, like the XS20, which I'm using to record this video. I just have this little foam piece here, and I'll normally just put this on top of my X-T5s. And then my XS20 or whatever additional camera I would have would go there. Like, what do I have behind me here? I have the Fujifilm X-Half, so I can throw that in there. Honestly, I could put two, but see, I can put that on top there and still have space for a camera. So my cameras go in that side pocket. This is generally where all my lenses will go. As you know, for wedding photography, I bring 4 lenses with me. So we have the 56, the 33, and the 23, which are the exact same size. And then I'll also bring the 16, which I'll just kind of slot in there. Now, all the lenses are kind of all on each other, so they are going to scrape a little bit and, you know, wear off on your lenses. But honestly, like, my lenses still look great. I don't mind that at all. But I could fit 4 lenses in there and still have some space if I really wanted to. This even works with my GFX setup. So if I'm bringing the 55 and the 85, they'll fit in this little side pocket. And then I can put something else on top of that. Or here in the middle where I had my X-T5s, I can actually fit the GFX 102 and also the GFX 100 RF. So I love this bag. Like, I really can fit everything in there. This spot here I use for my flashes. So I'll generally put my V862s in there. They fit in nicely. And then my last pocket here are for chargers and things. I also have a little zip top here, which I'll put extra business cards, chargers, extra batteries, batteries for any audio stuff, audio gear, and things like that. And then from there, it closes up. But what's even nicer about it, there's still space here at the top. So when I want to be safe, I actually put my Holdfast Moneymaker here. Because without those straps, I really can't shoot with 2 cameras. So I can put that here on top and it'll still close over it like that. I also still have space here on the side and also on the other side. And I also didn't even mention, it does have a laptop slot. I normally don't put my laptop in there, but yeah, as now you see I have like a camera lens wipe in there. I could put papers in there. There's all kinds of stuff I could put in there. So there's a lot of space. And this is the main way I'm traveling with my cameras when I'm flying and when I want my cameras to be on me. This bag is a nice small size, so it goes in the overhead compartment extremely easily. If I absolutely have to, I can slide this under a chair as well, kind of like sideways and slide it in that way. But it doesn't take up a lot of space, which is why I've always been using it. And I love how it has that like doctor flap open at the top. So close that up. And then when I'm traveling with it, since I don't need to get into it, I can strap it all the way with these straps here and just really close it like that. This way, no one's getting into it. It's not flying open, and it makes it easier for me to carry. Now, I know the biggest gripe most people would probably have with this method of carrying their camera gear is the fact that you have to carry it on your shoulder or in your hands, and it can get pretty heavy. It's not too bad for me. I don't mind it because I'm not bringing much else. Like, this is really the main bag, and then I'll have another bag as well. So I don't mind this setup, but I can see how it's rough not having like a roller bag or something like that. But for me, I like to keep everything right on me. I don't want to have to deal with losing the stuff or rolling it and then getting in the way. I can bring this with me to a wedding, but generally once I get into my hotel room, I'm unpacking all this stuff and it works out from there. As you all know too, I usually bring, where is it? My sights here. And I usually have my lenses in here and my flashes in here on the wedding day. So this and also my light stands is getting put on a checked bag. Now, the checked bag is super risky. Y'all already know that. Your luggage could just not show up. But if I didn't have this and I just had to bring this larger bag with me on the wedding day, I could deal with it. Which is why I was saying putting the moneymaker in here makes this sure set kind of thing, because then I have my straps, I have my cameras and my lenses, and I'm good to go. If I don't have my light stands and I don't have my extra bag, I can just deal with it and it'll be the absolute worst. But it is more, I can deal with that, you know, like it's not that big of a deal. So this smaller bag, light stands, usually will go on a checked bag. Now, moving on after that, let's talk about how I'm actually packing my clothes. And I talked about this in like my last video and other past videos, but I've gotten into this whole like one bag travel thing. And I actually went to Japan for like 30 days on a single bag, and it was absolutely awesome. It changed my life forever. So this bag is actually, it's one of my favorites to use for luggage, and especially if I'm going for a wedding where I'm really technically only there for what, like 2 days. Like I fly in, sleep, do the wedding, sleep, and then fly out. So I really don't need a lot of clothes. So the bag I'm using for my luggage, my clothes, anything extra like that. And like I said, if I'm going on a personal trip or something like that, how I went to Japan, I'm using this single bag here by BagSmart. It's actually super cheap. You can find them on Amazon. I think it's like 50 bucks. I, for whatever reason, always wanted to not like this brand, but every time I use their bags, it's extremely functional, and I love it every time. So the biggest thing with this bag is it's more of a luggage bag, and it opens up like a suitcase. So when I unzip it, you'll see that it opens straight up and it has this compartment like a suitcase. I think it is a 40-liter bag, or it's like a 35 to 40 liter. So it starts out at 35, but then there's also another zip where you can make it a little bit larger. So this section here is nice and deep, and this is like the main show of this bag. I'm able to pack so much in here, and if you're into single bag travel, you already know about rolling up your clothes. So the bag comes with these compression packs, and so this larger one is where I'll normally put my shirts. I can fit, honestly, upwards to 10 shirts here, because when I roll them, I'm able to fit maybe about 6 to 7 crossways, and then I can also fold one or two on top of those and just really stack out this cube. It comes with another cube as well, which is a little smaller. This is going to be for like socks and underwear and thing of that sort. I can put a lot in there also. They have an extra bag that I think is for shoes, or you could put dirty laundry in here. I use it kind of for both, or a lot of times I don't even use this. And then to go along with it, I bought myself this little toiletry bag and I'm able to fit everything in here, and it's super small, and it can just kind of fit on the sides or in between those two cubes once it's packed up. And then I have my tech bag here, which is actually from Moment, and this is where I'm going to fit in all of my things, like my charger for my phone and my watch, an extra SSD, chargers, a little mouse, because I actually have a really cool setup I'm going to use this time in Japan with the iPad mini. So I have a small keyboard, which I'll show you in a minute, this mouse, and that's it. And that should be able to get me by. I have a cable here. This is my little dock for my iPad mini, so like SD card slot on it and stuff. And there's a spot where I can put my Apple Pencil in here. So I really like this little pack, and I can fit all this in there with all my clothes. And then on top of that, like I was talking about, I'll be bringing the GFX 100 RF. So I'm really just going to kind of smash that in here in between everything at some point. And it'll all just fit in there, and I'll have enough space. Once you have everything packed in, you use this strap here, and you can just really tighten it down, squash it all down. I have this section here, which is pretty open. I can put anything. I always have extra business cards. I'm very into always having business cards, so all of my bags have extra business cards in them in case I forget. Got this nice little Sharpie, got my AirTag in there. And that's only the first luggage part. We haven't even hit the rest of the bag, which is where, to me, it really like starts to shine. So on the top section here, there's a small section at the top, which was already opened. And I can just put small things in there. I also have this next section, which also is small, and I'll put some extra stuff in there as well. Again, the stuff that's in there changes. Like sometimes I have this Super Nintendo controller. It's USB-C and Bluetooth. It's for the Nintendo Switch, but I have it currently hooked up to my iPad mini. Then I have an emulator on there, so I can actually play games if I want to. And this is much easier than trying to take a whole Switch or like the Steam Deck with me. If you're into gaming, I don't know about y'all, but I game a lot. That's something people find out about me later on. So, so if I want to be able to play some old school games, something like Chrono Trigger, I can just bring this with me, play it on the iPad mini. This next section is kind of my first tech section. And what I love about it is it's just a flat open section, and it goes the whole length of the bag. Like it goes all the way to the bottom. So as of right now, you see that I have the mini keyboard I was talking about that I'll be using with my iPad mini. And it's just a nice little keyboard. It's tiny, it's Bluetooth, it works well. It's by Logitech, it's awesome. It's battery powered, so you can turn it off when you're not using it. Slide it down in there. My iPad mini will go in here too. But I can put so much more. I can put magazines and books in here. There's so much space. And then on the back here is where our laptop goes. So another bag section on the back that literally goes the whole way of the bag. So this time I'm not going to be bringing my laptop. It's going to be a shorter trip. I should be able to do everything I need to on my iPad mini. But normally I would put my laptop here, and it fits well. There's actually a lot of space. I think I might put some pants back here since I'm not going to be using it for my laptop. So again, just so much space. I love this bag. It's so good. I cannot get enough of it. Then it has all the straps here for connecting it. Straps on the side to compress it down more. So you would snap all of these on the side, pull them as tight as possible. There are two little pockets on the side, which this is probably my biggest gripe about the bag, is the fact that these aren't big enough to fit like a water bottle in, and I have issues with that. But I recently got this small additional bag, so I'm gonna put all my Japanese souvenirs in here. This is actually a tote, but it rolls all the way up. It's Japanese, go figure. They do really awesome at making small portable things that get larger and turn into it turns into a whole tote bag. So I'm gonna have this in there. And then a lot of times, honestly, in the other one, I'll put my Osmo Pocket just so it's out of the way. And then yeah, I'll put my Moment Sling in here as well. That will come out once I'm actually at my locations. And so this will get me through most of my Japan trip. And again, if I'm packing it for a wedding, this is even easier to use because basically what I'll do is I'll put my suit on the bottom here. It'll take up the most space, and then I'll have my 2 cubes, which are pretty much going to be empty at that point. Honestly, a lot of times I'll just use 1 cube, plop that in there, and then have my other stuff like this, zip it down, and then that's all I need. That's the whole weekend there. Wear a pair of shoes that work with the suit, and I can just travel with, and I'm good to go. Another thing too, if I'm traveling and I want to bring camera gear with me, and I have the space for it, because a lot of times when I'm going to Japan, I don't have the space because I'm using up these 2 cubes, and there's like no other space. But if I'm doing a short trip and I only need 1 cube, I also bought this little camera holder thing for your backpack from Earth. I talked about them before. I used them for their ND filters. But this is just a common little backpack separator. And you see, it's pretty much the same as it would be for any camera gear. Like, I can fit a camera in there. And then there's a zip at the top. So it's almost like my other bag. I can close that up. And then it would go on the bottom here like this. So again, I have something here on the bottom, which could even be clothes, the sweater, my suit. Plop this in here, 1 full cube, and then toiletries and tech, and like the bag is good to go. And you can see here, this Earth camera thing is about the height of the bag. So once I like zip tie it down as far as it can go, like it's not making the bag any larger than it would be, which is awesome. So that's my little pack and go way I travel with a single bag. And again, on a wedding day, so I'm bringing this bag with my clothes in it, and then the Holdfast Romographer with my camera gear. And if it's a larger wedding day, then I'm going to bring a checked bag with my light stands and the sightseer in it. And that's all I really need. But a lot of times, especially recently, I've been focusing on weddings in the North Carolina area. So it's just really this backpack for clothes and then the Romographer so that I can bring all my camera gear in it. And that's how I'm traveling. I'm excited to go back to Japan and hang out there. I'm going to do it again, all in just a single bag. It was actually funny. The last time I went, I was checking in at the airport, like coming in through customs and everything. And they're like, "Oh, where's your luggage?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's just this bag." And they were looking at me like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's it. That's all I need. It'll be fine." So let me know what you think about this stuff, about packing and traveling. How do you pack and travel? Are you on the 1 bag travel life? And if you aren't, honestly, you should get into it, because I'll tell you for real, I was not about the 1 bag travel life at all, even a little bit. Like, you can ask my wife, like, I was not about that life at all. And I did it one time, and now I'm like more into it than she ever was. And she's like annoyed because I'm like rolling all my clothes and stuff. But this is a quick look at how I pack all my stuff and the bags that I use. Let me know some of the bags you all use in the comments below and what you like to do when you travel. Are you like, I need to bring like 50 different bags? Are you traveling light like I am? And I'm going to do more content like this, just off the cuff, talking about things. So if you like it, please like and hype up the video so I'll know that I can make more of these. And I will catch you all next time.